With actions like this from the Democrats, booing, jeering, or whatever, screaming and constantly just jeering, Al Green getting thrown out. Did you guys hear that they're drafting a censure of Al Green over this?
Good.
Yep.
Good.
I have to imagine Republicans planned this. Like, they crafted this specifically to be like, how can we make Democrats make a fool of themselves? They're so predictable.
I mean, look, I personally have said multiple times, we need to see more things like censure, because a lot of times there's really egregious behavior by people in Congress. And I honestly, this is one time where I'll say both sides. There's egregious behavior by people in Congress. And because of the way that our political system works, there's not often repercussions. They don't get voted out of office, et cetera, et cetera. So there's got to be something to say, look, this guy's kind of a scumbag. And I think that censure, because removal from office is so difficult, censure, give it to him. Let him, at least let the record show that this person's trash.
Yeah, well, and Al Green's been in public office since like the 70s. So he's one of those swamp creatures, if you will. And the liberals, they should lead by example. They always say Trump needs to be better at reaching the hand over the aisle. They should lead by example and actually clap when we want to reduce cancer rates in children.
I mean, you could argue that if Democrats deviated from their standard play, which they can't, but if they did for some reason, they'd have cheered for Trump when Trump did good things, and it would have given more arguments to their positions in other areas. I was talking about this morning because they were holding up the sign saying save Medicaid, and they've not made a single argument other than don't trust Trump. That's it. It's like Trump says he's not going to touch it. Trump says he's not going to touch Social Security or Medicaid. So you just waving that sign doesn't mean anything to anybody. Imagine if a single Democrat had two brain cells to rub together and said, to be honest, I actually think it's good that Doge is going in and trying to find waste, fraud, and abuse. I wish them the best. However, the concern here is they have already, in their mass firings, laid off critical employees and had to rehire them. And so I get it. You're doing a broad brush stroke. We want the waste, fraud, and abuse gone. That was overreach. My concern is they might accidentally step on Medicaid or Social Security. Regular people would say that's reasonable. In fact, I could literally say that right now, and people bet that's a reasonable position to take. But Democrats can't do it. If you actually wanted to win an election, that's what your argument would be. It would be like, vote for me because we'll be more cautious when it comes to the things you need.
Yeah.
I like Trump. He does some good stuff. We'll do it a little bit better.
Use a scalpel instead of a hatchet for cutting these jobs.
They're not even using a hatchet. They have like the back of a wooden chair. They're beating against a tree, hoping the tree falls down, and it's not gonna. You're like, dude, that's not an object that can cut through a tree. And they're not smart enough to understand this.
Yeah.
There's a peer pressure, too. I'm sure that anyone on the Democrat side in there who wanted to applaud anything knew they would face social repercussions for doing so. And I'm sure that it's the same on the Republican side. If you didn't stand up and clap for what you were supposed to stand up and clap for, you would face consequences. So there's that, and there's this mean girl behavior. I mean, they're literally dressing up in pink costumes and doing their theatrics together. Like, on Tuesdays, we wear pink. That was the last straw for me. Like, them coordinating their outfits like 12-year-old girls, protesting the mean jerk who's running for student president. It was embarrassing for all of female kind.
That is a good point about the social thing, because that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, and then I'm imagining the joke I made about beating a tree with the back of a wooden chair. It's like you've got a group of Democrats and they're all standing around and there's literally a hatchet on the ground. But then Donald Trump is seen using it. So Democrats are like, no, we don't do that. That's wrong. It's racist. And then the moderates, 5-10 years ago were like, guys, what are you proposing? And then they start trying to use a blunt stick hitting the tree. And if you dare speak up, they hit you with the stick. So then the moderates end up leaving, joining Trump, who's reasonable, makes sense. I got to be honest, he's talking big game and he's kind of a jerk when he does it, but at least he's actually getting the job done.
Yeah, he referred to these independents who are saying, like, I agree with the policies, but his tone, though. Like, are you living in a decade prior? I just am shocked that people are still tone policing Trump. He's cooled down so much. If you remember the way that he sounded 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, it's his tone is unrecognizable. He tries so hard to be polite and magnanimous.
Are you saying that he's less hilarious?
Kinda, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I am. And that was
well,
plenty funny for the first 5 minutes, but the rest of it was down to business.
Yeah. And I do love the little quips that he throws out there.
Pocahontas.
Oh man.
Yeah, and it was funny because I had a tweet get picked up. Someone said the first racial slur of the night, and I said, well, Elizabeth Warren's not Native American, so it's not a racial slur, it's just a regular slur.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
The fact that she brought up a racial slur, which it's not a racial slur, right? It's not, first of all. And second of all, the fact that she tried to imply that it is a racial slur, it shows that they're still 5 to 10 years behind. And
They're never getting catch it. They're 5 or 10 years behind, and they're going slower than the rest of the class.
I agree, but I think this points to the fact that there is a civil war, and this points to the fact that there's a civil war in the Democrat Party. They don't know who they are. You listen to people that are, the online pundits, people like Kyle Kalinske and people like Hassan and people like that do have the ear of young people, right? They get a lot of views. Those people are saying we need to be more progressive. We need to be more progressive, which translates to we got to be commies, like straight up. But at the same time, again, at least the reply from the actual DNC was very moderate, very middle of the road, because they're losing the donors. Whether people like it or not, donors matter, and the communists are not going to get donors.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.